again, everybody, it's me, Madam Macabre, and I am back with another Monday video. So I know usually on Mondays I do funny stories or vlogging and things, but today I wanted to do another more serious video. I want to have some real talk with you guys. So I know we're all dealing with our own stuff, and it really does help to talk. I figured, each person lives their own unique life and has their own unique experiences, and maybe you guys could gain something out of me sort of talking about things that have happened to me and touching on topics that many of us face. Maybe you can get some encouragement from some of the stuff I'll touch on, and maybe you can learn from my past mistakes so you don't necessarily have to go through such a painful experience as I did. Anyway, for this first sort of real talk topic, I wanted to touch on every millennial's favorite topic, the job market and jobs. This has never been a source of stress for millennials or anxiety or any of that good stuff. The job market's just fine. Just ask any baby boomer and they will tell you. You're just being lazy. Just take a job, work hard, and you'll be able to afford to live on your own. Don't you know that? Seriously though, guys, the job market's kind of screwed right now. Now, before I start getting into stuff, I must reiterate the fact that these are my personal experiences, so my views are based on my life and what I've personally encountered. This may not be the case for everybody, obviously, but it's personal to what I've experienced, and that's shaped how I view things. If you have not encountered things on this list, I'm so happy for you. I'm very glad that life was a little bit easier on you in this aspect. But for the rest of us, these things can be a little bit daunting, so that's where my standpoint is going to come from. The first point I want to touch on in regards to this wonderful job market is the pay versus expectations ratio that we have been facing. So yes, the boomers are correct. There are lots and lots of jobs available. It's not that there aren't any at all. You can go to any job listing and you will see lots of jobs available. The problem is that these jobs all want to offer minimum wage or a couple dollars within the range of minimum wage. And you can't exactly afford to live on your own. You might not even be able to afford to live with a roommate working on minimum wage or so. So it's not quite as easy as getting a job, working hard, and you'll be able to do it. That may have been the case for Nana and Papa, but things have changed. And I'm not just talking about jobs in fast food and retail. There are jobs with specific professions that are also affected by this weird pay versus experience gap. It's bizarre. I have been browsing the job listings recently to do a little research for this, and I've spotted this consistent trend of low-paying jobs wanting you to have a ridiculous amount of experience for what a specific field it is, the training it requires, and the experience. Okay, so here's a little experiment. I went through the job listings. I found one in specific for a marketing position. Sounds nice? Okay, they want you to go in and have 2 to 3 years of experience. Entry-level pay. Okay, that's starting to raise a little bit of a flag for me, because if you're expecting me to go in with, 2 to 3 years of experience, I would personally consider that more of an intermediate skill level because I've been doing it several years. But I wonder if that's going to relate to the pay somehow. Scroll down to the bottom and minimum wage. It's very interesting how they're stacking on more and more years of desired experience while tacking on entry level. I know in some regards you can still consider somebody with 2 to 3 years of experience more of a beginner than somebody who's been there for a while. But honestly, at that point in time, if they're highly educated and have a good track record of working in the field for 2 to 3 years, that's 2 to 3 years they've been doing it, and they clearly don't need all the same steps and safety training wheels as somebody who it's their very first job in the field. So you'd think that would justify at least a little bit more pay than, minimum wage entry level. I mean, again, this is coming from me subjectively and how I feel. This may just be a completely industry standard norm thing, but I don't know. I just feel like somebody who's already been working in the field for a while, has skills and an education, can justify wanting a little more pay. And this isn't even touching on the whole expectations thing, because, mind you, again, entry level, minimum wage might not be so bad if they were starting you off with a light loaded duties, you know, as someone who's just beginning in the field might. But you go through the list of responsibilities and it is unbelievable how many things they expect you to do for, you know, $8.50 an hour, you know, $10 an hour, whatever your minimum wage is. That's a lot of work for that amount of pay when that can't even pay your rent. Like, you're gonna be burning yourself out and still not be able to make ends meet. It seems bananas, but it's everywhere. I personally experienced it in a couple of my past jobs. I was juggling so many responsibilities and they refused to up my pay. Another tactic that they like to do is they start you in. You're like, okay, you know, I got light responsibilities, you know, this pays okay. And then you're there for a while and then they start tacking on, you can do this now, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, all these new responsibilities, but they don't want to give you a pay raise. That was my experience. Like, we're gonna give you, you know, about, you know, 8 to 12 new responsibilities that you didn't have when you started for this set pay, and no, we're not gonna offer you any more. And I'm like, you know, well, since I'm getting more responsibilities, at first I was excited. I'm like, cool, I can ask for higher pay now because they trust me with more responsibilities. And I went and asked for a raise in pay, and they're just like, no, you're just gonna keep doing your job. These are just your new responsibilities. And that's why I left. Number 2, something that you might have the oh so great pleasure of experiencing is some form of pay discrimination. This is a fun one. Now mind you, there isn't just one group of people who are more likely to experience this. Anybody can be discriminated in their pay for any reason, simply down to their boss just doesn't like them. It can happen to anybody. Doesn't mean it's legal, because it's not, but it happens. Probably my least favorite past job had me working in a trucker stop. And mind you, I was just about one of 2 females in the entire company. And I worked as a receptionist. And let me tell you, my boss there was like the textbook, like, I'm a big strong man and you little ladies don't know how to do anything but feel emotions and make supper for us. It was bad. Like, this is the sort of guy when people are exaggerating about people being misogynistic. This is that guy. He's real and he was my boss. I hated it there. I constantly got hit on by these middle-aged truckers. They said horribly inappropriate things. They tried asking me out on a shift. It was uncomfortable, and I talked to my boss, and he'd just laugh it off, and, oh, they're just being funny. You're just being an emotional little lady. Got that whole act, and, like, that was the first warning sign that it was time for me to leave, but I wanted to hold out there. No, the real reason that I left that place was because I found out I had an office mate who would do the same responsibilities as me. And the only difference is he was a man. And I found out from talking to him that he was making $2.50 an hour more than me. No more experience than me, no more responsibilities than me, just 'cause. Now that's my personal experience. I'm not saying that's the norm. That is just something that happened to me. But some of the tactics they use for this is just utterly ridiculous. In another past job, not the same one, I got reprimanded and threatened to be fired for talking to a coworker about pay. Now this, mind you, is illegal. I didn't know this at the time. I just felt horrible and scared because I thought I was gonna get fired for talking about pay to another employee. They told us that it is company protocol not to do that, and if you do, you can get fired. They were violating our rights, and a lot of places do this. So know that it is your right to talk to your coworkers about pay. That's how you can ensure you're not getting screwed over or discriminated against. And before this video gets unbelievably long, because I've got lots of gripes, believe me, I wanted to talk on one last point, and that is employers using you. I have experienced this in just about every single job I have worked at in the past. And I think it's a common problem as us young people become more and more educated with higher skills. And there's lots of us. And since there's so many of us, companies are like, great, we can just, offer them a really cheap job and then harvest their other skills on the side for extra profit for us. Oh boy. I cannot tell you how many of these past jobs have wanted me to use my graphic design and video editing skills for projects completely unrelated to my job. Mind you, these positions had nothing to do with graphic design, website building, video editing. That was not part of my job description, because video editing, graphic design, all that stuff, it's quite a bit higher paying than the positions I was working. But the employers saw on my resume that I had these skills, or they'd learn it from talking to me. And once they realized I had these skills, they would start to slide new responsibilities my way, once again, that were outside of my job description. They started expecting me to, on top of my regular job duties, also start designing, like graphic design, like we want you to make some vector t-shirt designs for us to sell in our shop. We want you to do a new layout for our website. We want you to edit a bunch of our videos. That way we can post them on our company website. And we're not gonna, bump up your position to graphic designer, videographer, whatever. We're just gonna keep you as you are. You're not gonna get a bonus in pay. You're just gonna keep getting the same money and the same hours as before. Yes, it's more work, and we're not gonna give you more hours. We're not gonna put you into overtime. You just have to find a way yourself to make time to do all this stuff for us. Okay? Not okay. Not okay at all. I quit. No joke though, that's honestly why I quit 2 of my past jobs. I was working as an activities assistant in one and a receptionist in the other, and they wanted me to be a graphic designer without getting graphic designer pay. So we're talking, doing $20 to $30 an hour work for still $12.50 an hour. No bonus, no change of position, no extra hours, no benefits, that's it. It sucks, but this is a really prevalent problem. A lot of companies, the second they sniff out that you have a special set of skills, they're gonna try and use you for it. Alright, well, the really dark portion of the video is over now, and let's start shifting gears into how to get through this stuff. So the first and possibly most important thing to keep in mind with this is you are not alone in this. So many people are going through the same struggle as you are. I went through it, countless others are. You're not a failure for struggling to find a good job. You don't deserve to be underpaid. You don't deserve to have your skills taken advantage of. However, this is something that's common, and a lot of people are fighting through this. So you're not alone. People understand. Unfortunately, this stuff happens, and I can't really see a short-term change in things instantly shifting. So our generation is probably just gonna have to push through it. But the thing to keep in mind is that it is not forever. All you need to do is get through your first couple of jobs. Even if they're horrible and they're trying to use you and they're not paying you what it's worth, think of it, you are just getting your experience and you are gone. You do not have to promise your life away to this company. You do not have to be in it for the long haul if it's a terrible job. Just work there 6 months to a year so you can use them as a reference. Just hold in all that inner rage and turmoil and just, smile nice. And when you leave, don't burn bridges. And then put it on your resume. You've got experience. You can start building experience, and eventually you'll have enough experience that they cannot continue to abuse you the same way. And if you are in a job that you otherwise really do enjoy, you're just not getting paid enough, or you're being asked of too many responsibilities for your pay grade, don't be afraid to speak up. Fight for the pay that you deserve. Talk to your boss about raising your salary. Go into that discussion prepared. Have a list of reasons to support why you believe you deserve a higher salary. You may be surprised that you can, talk up, get the salary you deserve, or at least find a compromise. Don't be scared to talk to your boss. I have known so many people who have been terrified about bringing up the subject of talking about salary and raises with their bosses. I've done it countless times, and most of the time, despite my bad experiences, it hasn't resulted in anything awful happening, and sometimes it really does result in you getting a pay raise. If you work for a good boss and a good company, odds are, if you can articulate yourself and get your reasons together, they'll be willing to give you a raise. You just have to fight for it. As daunting as that can be, you gotta get ruthless. You fight tooth and nail to get what you deserve, and don't you ever feel bad about it. And my final thoughts on the matter is, do not give up on yourself. You are not going to be stuck in the cycle of a bad job with bad pay and too many responsibilities and not being appreciated forever. It may feel like your job is just crushing you alive and you can't afford to leave it and you're not getting what you're worth out of it, but this is not the end. You are not signing your life away to this company. You don't have to work until retirement. You don't have to be here for years and years and years. This is not forever. You are going to get a better job and things will change for the better. You just have to tough it out and get through the garbage right now. And you're not alone, and you can do this. I believe in all of you guys. And that is all the time I have for today. So if you guys are currently on the job hunt or currently working a job that makes you feel like you're underappreciated and underpaid, I'm here for you guys. I feel ya, and I'm wishing for things to improve, genuinely hoping that you will get through this as quick as possible and things will start looking brighter. And if you're one of those people who is fortunate to have a great job with a great boss and great pay, I am genuinely very happy for you. I wish it was that way for more people. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below, and I really appreciate it if you leave a like on this channel, and if you are new here, consider subscribing. I hope you guys enjoyed this little real talk thing. I might touch on some other serious issues at later videos at some point if you guys actually enjoy this. If not, I can, let this be a one-time thing. But anyway, that is all for now, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye!